Can we save this soil? Let's have a little light side chat.
Hi. I have been gardening for a long time, indoors and outdoors. And after a short hiatus, I don't know, a few years, I can't help it. My thumb is just still green. So there are certain things about gardening that are tried, tested, and true, but there's also room for what works for you and your environmental situation, right? Since gardening technology has changed in some ways recently, here we are trying new things, which is good in gardening, right? I have tried almost every soil out there, all the different potting soils and gardening soils, and well, over the years, lots of different types of soils. I've used composts, I've bought them, I've made them myself, and I've tried a lot of different soil additives over the years too. I acknowledge that there's very different qualities of soils out there, and I think we can agree though that the best soil is the soil that you make for your plant, that you understand, right? And if you understand your plant's needs, then you can adjust your mix as necessary. That just makes sense, right? So if you're going with a soilless medium, then none of this applies and you don't have to worry about it. But no, and you have other problems if you're going soilless. So that's another video you'll find, I'm sure. But if you keep any amount of soil in your mix, then you're going to have to start with a base mix, right? And if you start from scratch, then you're starting with usually a coco coir or a peat mix. And then you're going to have to add in possibly some buffers to get pH where it needs to be, possibly some CalMag, and at least some perlite, if nothing else, right? I come from a time of gardening where I didn't have the option of making my own mixes. I had to rely on what I was able to get where I lived and what I was able to afford. And then yeah, I would get something and bring it home, and then my plant and I would learn how to grow in whatever medium I was trying to work with at the time. And I learned a lot about my plants and about soil doing that, right? So now I have a better understanding of what different plants want and what I have to offer. And the environment that I live in, and how things work here. So through all the years, there's always been one product that I've always been able to find, that's always been available, and has always been affordable. And in the majority of times, it didn't fail me, except for pests. Or maybe I just got used to using it, because when the moisture control version came out, I tried it, but I struggled with it and I killed most of the things I planted in it. So same plants, just a different substrate that was changed by the same company, and it just made it so that I didn't understand it, and my watering style probably. So this product has been highly villainized in the houseplant world, and I've had my issues with it over the years myself. So I know it's polarizing. Everybody just went, ooh. So the whole point of this is I plan to make my own soil mixtures. I've gotten all the soil additives I want and need, and probably a couple that I don't. I still have rock dust from the early 2000s when that was a fad. I have bat guano. I have worm castings. I have all kinds of things that I can add to my soil if I want or need to. But I need something to start with. I need a base. So I could start right from scratch. I could start with some coco coir or some peat moss, and then just go from there. But those things usually need to be adjusted for pH. So you're going to have to put some dolomitic lime or maybe even some gypsum for calcium. But I don't have time for that. I've got all the other additives. I'm not starting from scratch. So I'm going with something that's already got everything in it. Miracle-Gro comes ready to grow. It's already been pH buffered. It has the basic additives that are needed to be good for a base soil for the majority of our household plants and my watering habits, which is super important because my habits are joined with the plant's needs, right? And it's even got food in it. But I know it's got problems. One of the major problems is bugs. It almost always comes with white flies, possibly thrips. And don't buy a bag of soil if you know it's been sitting out in the rain for half the season. And then sitting in the hot sun and growing mold in it. Like, obviously don't do that. Try and get a good bag of soil to start with. But the bugs. So I decided to do a test with one of the new pieces of technology that wasn't available in gardening when I was gardening before my hiatus, I guess. And that is, or at least to my knowledge, I don't. Maybe they were available back then, but they weren't readily available. Nobody was talking about them. I just hadn't heard about them until just recently, and that is nematodes. I'm excited to use these. These are microscopic little worms that you add to the soil, and they will just go around and eat everything that is not good in your soil. The white flies, their larvae, their eggs, the thrips. I think it does something else too. But anyway, I'm going to put them in my Miracle-Gro soil, and I'm going to let them do their job. And it's a test. Can I use Miracle-Gro potting soil, the most vilified soil in gardening, if I inoculate it by treating it with nematodes beforehand, leaving a good pest-free base to start soil mixtures with? It might be asking a lot, or it might just work perfectly. I'm not sure. And is this going to be more cost effective than buying a really expensive bag of soil? Because, those really good soils cost a lot of money. And so if I can get 2 bags of soil taken care of with my nematodes for less than a bag of really good soil, then I can put that away as a clean base that I can start with to make my own soil mixtures for my individual plants. And that's what the test is. That's what we're doing. So let's do it.
All right, let's open this up and see what biological warfare looks like. Because I've never seen these before. except for in YouTube videos. Oh, there we go. So they're little packets. Looks like little balls of something. Worms. Microscopic worms. More packets. Okay, so there's 8 packets in here. And there's some instructions. I'm going to read those. Oh, I mean, that's pretty. Just pop, drop, and water in. Open the bag and apply 1 bio pouch per 5 gallons of soil around the base of the plant. Nematodes will be slowly released in approximately 7 days. Irrigate until growing media is moist but not overflowing. Reapply 10 to 14 days to treat the next generations of pets. Okay. So I will apply it twice. But I just got them. I got them off Amazon. And the best before date is the 30th of August of 2025. So they expire within a month of when I got them. And I'm not sure if that's normal or if I just got an old batch. But it's time to use them anyways because I need the soil. Because I want to start making mixes. All right. Here we go. I mean, that looks like a decent bag of soil so far upon opening. But you know what? We're dealing with little creatures. I think I'm going to glove up. All right, let's... I'm just going to layer it a little bit. Monsters. Oh no. I don't know if you saw that, but at least 2 of those little globs just went flying in my house. I also just realized my glove broke.
All right. We have biological warfare beginning now, and a cleanup to happen right now. I just watered it in. I took one of my daughter's unfinished water bottles. I put about that much water on top of it. And that's it. We're done. I'm going to put it away and let it sit and let it do its job. And we'll come back to it. So just a little update. It's been a week, and in that time I decided to water it some more just to make it moist. It said it wants to be moist, so I added 2 of these and then put saran wrap over top of it for a couple of nights just to keep the moisture in and let it do its job. And then I took the saran wrap off and have just let it do its thing. And I've taken the lid off a couple of nights just to give it some aeration. I dug through it a little bit just to keep the air movement in there, and then put the lid back on, and now it's a week later. So I'm going to give it another week and reapply, and then I'm just going to put it away as clean soil as far as I'm concerned. I'll do another video, I don't know, an update video, and we'll see where it's at, see if it did its job. So here we are. It is 16 days later. I've kept it moist, and I assume everybody's been multiplying and doing their jobs. It's time to reapply the last of what I had here, and so I was going to split those last packets up. I was going to put 2 of them into my existing 2 plants that I have left. But then I thought, why don't I just take some of this and apply it as a top dressing to those plants, and then I'll just put all of the packets back into here and let it go. So I'm just going to get some gloves. Now, when I say my 2 existing plants, I mean the 2 that I still have from years ago. I have a few new entries to my current plant setup, but we'll introduce you to those later. So these expire August 30th. So we're just coming up to the end. Now, I'm assuming, I was a little surprised when they came with an expiry date so close, but doing some research, they are living creatures, so they are only going to last for so long. They're probably only sold with a short expiry date to begin with, right? So, and this time, I'm just going to put the packets on. I'm not going to open them up, just because I'm not sure if that's what it wanted in the first place. I'm just going to put them like that, and then I'm going to moisten them and let them do their thing. Maybe I'll cover them a little bit, just to help keep them moist. again, there we go. We'll check back again later. Fast forward. Well, it's been approximately a month since I started this process, and if I had to wrap it up real quickly, I would say I think it's a success. I haven't seen any signs of any critters. I'm not seeing anything flying around. I'm not seeing anything crawling around. And looks like I've gotten 2 bags for the price of 1 bag of good soil that I can use as a base to make all my other potting soils with. So I'm counting this as a win and a success. And until something else comes up or comes my way, this is my method now, I think. So thanks. Try it. Tell me what you think. Bye.